Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of September 27, Friday. I'm Riza Diaz. We open today's rush with another alleged hazing incident, this time in UP Diliman. Recall that almost a year ago, a violence had also erupted among fraternity groups in the campus. And Marian Enriquez will tell us more.
Unverified screenshots of a suspected fraternity-related violence inside the University of the Philippines went viral. A Twitter user shared a photo of a heavily beaten neophyte as well as a man brandishing a long paddle. Screenshots of a group chat were also uploaded. One can read the word pegul, an inversion of gulpi, the Filipino word for beating. The account was already suspended, but UP Alianza was able to take a screenshot of its tweets. Alianza President Bel Hines identified some of the people in the group chat. The man with the paddle was supposedly Nacho Domingo, the vice chairman of the Mass Communication Student Council. The other person was supposedly Tyrone Santos, the head of Students' Rights and Welfare Committee.
Nakakalungkot, tsaka nakaka-disappoint at nakakagalit. Kasi tinanong na sa kanila to nung tumatakbo pa lang sila. At sinabi nila na they will hold themselves accountable, their institution accountable. Pero hindi natin nakikita na nangyayari to ngayon. Isang araw na yung nakalipas, pero ni isang salita, wala tayong naririnig from them. Hindi nga sila makontak.
The two named students have not given their side. Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs Jerwin Agbawa is now forming a committee to investigate the incident and hold those behind the suspected hazing accountable.
It was really appalling dahil wala pang isang taon simula nung magkaroon ng frat-related violence dito sa universidad. Ito na naman yung isang kaso na nagpapakita ng patuloy-tuloy na pagsasagawa ng hazing sa mga fraternities natin na hindi kailangang isagawa.
The two council leaders have already been suspended from their offices. If proven guilty, they, along with others involved in hazing activities, may face expulsion from UP and be barred from enrolling in the university for 5 years. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Back now to the hazing incident at the PMA. Police are now looking at the two new suspects in the killing of Cadet 4th Class Darwin Dormitorio, who took a fatal beating over misplaced combat boots, and, as new information stated, for failing to do other menial tasks as well. Patricia Mangune has the report.
Back in August, Cadet 4th Class Darwin Dormitorio was confined at the PMA hospital for a week after an upperclassman beat him up for failing to do his tasks such as cleaning the dorm room and for misusing the group's allowance.
Nung pinapalinis daw ay hindi daw nagre-react o hindi daw tumayo itong si Cadet Dormitorio. Yung dalawa lang raw roommates niya ang ano. So, yun ang justification niya na sinaktan niya. According to Cadet Dormitorio naman ay it has something to do with yung allowance na something na gagamitin nila to buy their own mga personal things na he was already able to spend yata yung half of it.
A maltreatment incident was reported, and in the signed statement, Dormitorio identified Cadet 3rd Class Felix Lumbag as the upperclassman who beat him up that day. Lumbag was suspended for a year and prohibited from going near the underclass cadets. And then on September 17, the fatal beating took place over the pair of combat boots that Dormitorio misplaced. But another development in the case shows that after Dormitorio was discharged from the hospital, he took another beating from two other third-class cadets. This time, Dormitorio was kicked in the head and electrocuted in his private parts using a taser.
Those are the things that are supposedly being taught, being responsible for the things that have been entrusted to you. Yun. Basically, it's taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility for the things that has been entrusted to you. But again and again, let me emphasize po na none of those reasons will justify yung ginawa po nila kay Cadet Dormitorio.
On September 18, Dormitorio was said to be vomiting in the barracks at around 1 a.m. and at around 4 o'clock he was found unconscious in his room and rushed to the hospital. At around 5 o'clock he was declared dead. This brings the number of suspects to 5, 2 of which are still unnamed. The taser was turned over to the police by one of the new suspects on Thursday. The police said this new information explains the burns on the skin found during the autopsy.
Di ba may mga burned tissue sa katawan ng victim? This is it is believed to have been used by the perpetrators.
The suspects are set to face charges over violations of the anti-hazing law, while 12 cadets and 2 PMA staff members will serve as witnesses to the case. The case will be filed at the City Prosecutor's Office next week. For News 5, Patricia Mangune, we are One News.
Amid the African swine fever outbreak, consumers are now starting to buy more chicken for their everyday meals. And the result, of course, price increase. Now, if you're one of those chicken lovers, you may want to listen to this report by Shaila Francisco.
Marichu now buys chicken at Kamuning Market 4 times a week. This comes after she stopped buying pork due to the African swine fever scare.
Pag nakikita niyo yung balita, parang nakakadiri. Parang naaano kami sa, siyempre, mga pinapakita, diba?
Chicken prices in some Quezon City and Mandaluyong markets have gone up by 10 to 20 pesos starting this week. United Broilers Raisers Association says farm gate prices have increased up to 100 pesos due to increase in demand for chicken. But some retailers in Kamuning Market opted to retain chicken prices at 160 pesos per kilo despite a 6 peso increase from their suppliers.
Hindi namin kayang itaas kasi iiwanan kami ng customer at pag biglang taas yung bigta namin.
Chicken is the most preferred meat alternative.
Kasi ang nagiging mas abot kaya ay manok. Ang baka kasi mahal eh. Mas stable ang supply ng manok kaysa sa isda. Dahil lang kami ng isda, bukod doon sa aqua kasi yan at saka yung fish cat sa dagat eh.
The DA is now asking retailers not to take advantage of the current situation.
Huwag namang patungan pa na mas malaki na nakaka-burden na sa bulsa ng ating mga ordinaryong mamamayan, no?
Meanwhile, after Negros Occidental, Bohol and Cebu, Davao has banned entry of hogs and pork products from Luzon. Mindanao Development Authority Chairman Manny Peñol is also urging local LGUs to issue an executive order banning the entry of pigs and pork from ASF-affected cities. With this, the DA has this appeal to local government units planning to follow suit.
Walang ASF, hindi naman ASF tainted yung mga yan eh. If you want to test, go and test some samples. Di ba? Pero again, they are safe, hygienically produced.
Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
A bit of good news, though, for our households. The health department is seeking lower prices for 120 treatment medicines in the country. The DOH says it will be submitting to President Duterte a list of drugs whose price is subject to more than 50% reduction once signed. Now, according to Filipino Star ngayon, this includes medicines and preventive drugs for hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, chronic lung diseases, arthritis, and even cancer. If there's one thing US President Donald Trump remembers about President Duterte, it's his skills on the microphone. Trump met with Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York and told the DFA chief to say hi to Frank Sinatra, referring to Duterte. Trump witnessed him sing with music icon Plita Corrales during the 2017 ASEAN Summit in Manila. This from the business world. A new generation is taking over the country's richest men as Henry C's children emerge at the top of the Forbes list of richest Filipinos. With a combined net worth of $17.2 billion, the C siblings eclipse Manny Villar, who is still considered the richest man in the country. Tensions rose inside the Pasay City Jail yesterday after jail guards attempted to transfer one of the inmates' big boss. And now the whole compound is on lockdown until the investigation is over. Here's the story.
This mother rushed to Pasay City Jail, fearing that her son was involved in the reported scuffle on Thursday.
Nakita ko na sa TV, nagkagulo sa dito sa BJMP, kaya ako napasugod. Kala ko madamay.
2 BJMP officers were reportedly injured in the ensuing chaos on the building's 4th floor. The commotion started when a jail guard attempted to transfer 12 inmates to the Metro Manila Jail Annex at Camp Bagong Diwa.
Kasi po, tingnan niyo po yung jail namin, 1,722. Binawasan po namin ng 12, 1,710. Kailangan pa po namin magbiyahe.
Among them is the leader of Batang City Jail, Benjamin Alejandro. Alejandro was convicted of drug crimes and is a former bilibid inmate. He is considered to be the boss man by his peers and therefore refused to be moved.
May order po yung executive judge na ilipat sila sa MMDJ2. Bali, 8 inmate po for transfer sa MMDJ2 at 4 na PDL for transfer sa STC6, yung mga para sa may TV.
The standoff between the prisoners and the jail guards went for an hour before the inmates were successfully transferred to Taguig, and because of this, visitors are currently not allowed inside the premises. BJMP claims the situation is already under control and that visiting hours will return to normal once the ongoing investigation ends.
Parents and children are now flocking to vaccination centers in Metro Manila in fear of contracting diseases that are now making a comeback. But it is enough to prevent a possible outbreak of diphtheria? Well, Malacanang says everything is under control. Laila Panghalinan with the story.
The resurgence of vaccine-preventive diseases have made these long queues on health centers in the metro. Parents like Marielle, a mom of 2, told News 5 that she never lost faith in vaccines despite the Dengvaxia scare.
Pag hindi mo din po siya na-inject ng ibang inject dito po sa center, paano na lang po pag nagkasakit? Di mas malala. Wala siyang protection sa ibang sakit.
Health workers are happy to see the spike in number of parents getting their kids vaccinated.
Ay nakakatuwa po sila kasi sila na po talaga na pumupunta.
The DOH has a mandatory basic immunization program since 2011, requiring all children to be vaccinated from 0 to 5 years old. The vaccines including polio, tetanus, H influenza, and anti-diphtheria are free in public hospitals and health centers nationwide.
As early as upon birth, we give hepatitis B and BCG, and this practice is being done in both public and private hospitals. After which, at the 6 weeks of life, we start giving the 5-in-1 and the oral polio. This is what is being offered at the health center now.
Despite these efforts, another polio case is suspected in Cotabato. An infant has fever and one of her legs paralyzed. Meanwhile, the earlier case of polio in Lanao has worsened.
Sa history ng bata, wala siyang bakuna, so walang protection yung katawan niya.
The Department of Health confirmed that a 10-year-old girl in Manila died due to diphtheria. The Palace's Health Secretary Francisco Duque assured them that no diphtheria outbreak will be happening soon, as everything is under control.
Ako naniniwala na ginagawa niya ang lahat niyang makakaya upang pangalagaan ang kalusugan ng sambayan ng Pilipino.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And just yesterday, Meralco showed off its one-of-a-kind masterpiece called Hands On, a sculpture made out of 1,300 service gloves from its linemen. The 12 feet by 8 artwork was made by P.T. Jimenez, who specializes in making pieces made out of scrap materials. Each glove bears the name of its user, including their employee number. Jimenez said he noticed that the gloves were just being thrown away after years of use. And so he made a bid to buy one container van full of lineman gloves. For Meralco's president and CEO, Ray Espinosa, the sculpture serves as a reminder that the company will always be hands-on with its customers.
I didn't realize that these gloves could be turned into a beautiful artwork. And my own thoughts then were, well, it reflects the whole heritage of Meralco through all of these years, because some of these gloves are really very old. So all of the years is represented in this particular artwork.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.